Hi everyone. So as promised, this week we will be working on Ballerina Cara. We're going to be giving her a full reroot and styling her hair. It's going to be a restoration because I do want to give her her original hair back. And if you haven't watched last week's video and you want to know a little bit more about Cara as like a character in the Barbie universe, I'll definitely go back and watch that. Because it's going to give you a little bit more information on her. And as I'm looking at her like screening, I don't think I will be touching up anything because everything looks to be in its place. Here's a little closer look of her screening. And all of Cara's dolls do use the stuffy face, which is a very popular face amongst collectors. And my dolly hair order arrived. So two videos ago, I mentioned that I ordered from the Doll Planet and I got like two shades. One of them was basically like a black color and the other was this like, I don't know, like light chestnut color. I wasn't a fan of this chestnut color. So I decided to try a different company because I saw that they had some like more variation on the brown colors. And yeah, so I ordered two colors from Dolly Hair and I'm actually very happy with them. Let me show you. So first, let me actually show you the color. So this color is called Bitter Chocolate Brown. And this is how Bitter Chocolate Brown looks like. It's looking very, like it looks almost black on camera, but it is kind of like a dark brown, or like a dark brown, which is actually what I was envisioning when I did my Christie reroot. So let me go grab Christie. So this is my TNT Christie, and I rerooted her a couple of videos ago in this hair from the Doll Planet. The Doll Planet called this hair dark chocolate, which pretty much looks black to me. I mean, I guess maybe I can see, like if I hold it up to the sun, I can see a little bit of brown in it, but it's pretty much black to me. But this hair from Dolly Hair, this is what I was originally envisioning for her. So you can see the difference here. I originally wanted this like dark brown for her, but now that she's done, I actually am glad that she is rooted in this black color because I think it looks really good with her because her brows and her eyeliner are black and her eyes are pretty dark as well. So I think this black color actually turned out perfect for her. So this is dark brown. Let me go ahead and show you the second color that I got from Dolly Hair. So this is sable brown, and I will take it out, show you guys. I really like this color. This is like a very rich brown color. And I mean, honestly, a lot of dolls would look really good in this. I was thinking like Malibu PJ or like Malibu Barbie would look really good in this. I have a few Malibu Barbies, like, you know, random heads that I have collected over the years. And this, I think brown would look really good with her. Like, don't you think? That would look so pretty. And I'd probably go like waist length or maybe even longer. Give her a very like 70s sort of Studio 54 vibe. And then I also was thinking Malibu PJ, so let me show you Malibu PJ. Okay, so this is how Malibu PJ would look. And I think that would be so pretty. Like I think this would like really pop with her eyes or make her eyes pop. The eye color. So yeah, I really like this hair. I'll probably be ordering some more of this. And in terms of quality, I mean, like, honestly, I can't really tell the difference between the dolly hair and the doll planet. So yeah, I don't know, I can't really tell the difference, but I'll let you guys know as I work with it if I think one is better or, you know, whatever. But to me, it feels pretty much the same, and I'd probably order from both companies again. Just, it really depends on the colors that they have. I'm definitely someone who is very, like, picky when it comes to color. I see very, like, subtle variations in color, and there's always something that that I'm, like, kind of indecisive about when it comes to color. But in any case, I do want to eventually reroute my Julia doll, who's on the top shelf. Let me go grab her. Okay, so this is my Julia doll. And Julia was based off of a television actress. The differences between Julia and Christie, like the screening, is pretty subtle. A lot of collectors confuse her because she uses the same head sculpt and as well as the same screening. But if you look at the lip color, there's a big difference there. Christie also has that, like, TNT blushing. At least I call it TNT blushing. And then they do both have rooted lashes. And another big difference is Christie has like a softer, sort of curved eyebrow. I think it gives her a little bit more of like a sweeter expression. Whereas Julia has a more arched eyebrow. So I can almost tell immediately, like, just by looking at the eyebrows, you know, the differences between them. And then Julia also has eyeshadow. She has like a brown eyeshadow, and it makes her eyes look a lot smokier than Christie's. So in a way, I kind of see Christie as a little bit maybe younger, I mean. Like sweeter and a little bit younger, and Julia as a little bit more mature. So yeah, Julia right now, sorry, Christie. Julia right now is wearing a wig. This is, I think, a Fashion Queen wig or something like that. And I basically just like turned it to the side and styled it and then, you know, just worked with it. But I think it looks quite pretty. I also really love this shade of brown for her. The only thing is it's very bulky, which kind of does go with the like 1960s style. But I have some other plans for her. I want to give her like a short, cropped, sort of Twiggy inspired hairstyle, but maybe not like as short as Twiggy, maybe a little bit longer. Another haircut that I'm inspired by is the Hair Fair Barbie. She has short hair, so I probably wouldn't cut her hair that short, but I think that like cropped, Twiggy-esque sort of haircut is what I'm looking for her. And I think it would be really pretty to maybe do like a color blend. So I think I would probably, for the majority of her hair, I would use this like bitter chocolate color. So the dark brown. And then maybe mix in some like lighter tones of brown. I feel like sable brown is maybe like too close to this hair color, so I want to maybe go a shade lighter. I could go coconut, although I feel like coconut is very light. Like that's a very intense highlight, but maybe if I blend it, it wouldn't look as intense. I don't know. I have to play around with it, but I did order even more hair from the Doll Planet. I ordered some more shades of brown because apparently I'm obsessed with different shades of brown. So yeah, that's gonna be a little sneak peek on what's coming next. I also am gonna be working on a sewing project. I'm not gonna make it necessarily like a tutorial because I don't know, I don't really want to become like a tutorial channel. My intention is more so to like, you know, kind of create video diaries on like what I'm doing, and of course like give you guys enough information on like what I'm doing and things like that. But yeah, I'm not trying to be like a tutorial channel, but this sewing project, I have had a couple questions on like how I created this dress. This is my prom queen dress. And yeah, so I've had a lot of questions on this dress, and I will be making another variant of this dress, a color variant, and there will be more information to come on that in, you know, the later videos. Okay, so I need to clean off my desk and then we can get to working on Cara. So first things first, let's make her bald and beautiful. Also, just a tip, if you have trouble like me knowing exactly how much hair to put in each plug, you can pull one of the plugs out. And I just attached it to tape. Now I can kind of like reference this when I go to pull out, you know, the hair that I need. So this is the crown that I'm talking about, and yeah, it just goes in there just like that. I mean, I have to push it all the way in, but before I do that, I want to heat up the head. I don't want to like accidentally tear the vinyl, but we'll do that at the end. Okay, so now I'm going to use forceps to pull out all of the plugs from the inside. Okay, so I have my strand ready, strand of hair. This is my rerouting tool. It's an X-Acto blade holder, and the eye of the needle is clipped to create a long side and a short side. So we're going to take our strand, and this is what I did in the last video, and it worked out well. I'm just going to create a knot by wrapping around 2 fingers, creating an opening and pulling it through, and trying to really center that knot. Between the 2 ends. So you can see here I have my knot, and if you have a hole that's a little bit bigger in the head, you can actually tie the knot again. You can tie the knot again and make it bigger. But this knot size is good for me, so I'm just going to pick it up with my reroute tool. Okay, now that I have that, I'm going to take my doll, choose a hole, and punch it through. And then I'll give it a tug. And that came out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually create another knot. Because that came out a little too easily for me. So there we go, I created a bigger knot. And if you rooted your doll with a little bit more hair, the knot's going to be a little bit bigger, so that might help. But I am trying to stay as authentic to what the doll normally would have been rooted. Okay, so now I'm tugging, and that's good. So you can see how much hair I have there. It's not a lot, so that's gonna work. And it is quite short, but I am giving her like a low bun, so I think that'll be plenty of hair to work with. Yeah, that should be fine. So I'm just gonna keep plugging along, and I will check in from time to time. Alright, so I've got the hairline rooted all the way around. And I've done my best to keep all the plugs pretty thin because I'm going for a restoration, which means I do want it to look close to the original as possible. So this is that little piece that I showed you all earlier. This is a plug that I took out before I cut all her hair off. And I'm basically just using it as a guide to make sure that all the plugs have this amount of hair. So I'm just gonna continue on working my way up the scalp and finish off with the part line. So she's all finished being rooted. All that's left to do is thatch the part line. And in my last rerooting video, I didn't show that process because it was my first time. So I just wanted to focus on getting it right. But now that I'm a little bit more comfortable, I can kind of explain what I'm doing. Essentially what I'm going to do is I have these 2 rows of hair, and I want to take a little bit from this side and move it over to this side, and take a little bit from this side and move it over to that side. So I'm just taking small pieces and kind of like crisscrossing them and creating a thatched, crossed hairline. And she, because she has black hair, it is going to be kind of hard to see. So I can do my best filming that. And I'm going to use washi tape to hold my finished, like the hair that's finished being thatched. If you're not familiar with washi tape, it's basically just like a tape that's meant to be reusable. And I find it to be like not too sticky. I'm just using extra tape to tape down my crossed sections, and that really helps kind of keep them separate, because it can be very hard when you first start cross hatching to get it started. So her thatching is all done. And then remember, she does have a hole in the top of her head because that's where her crown goes. But yeah, I think the thatching turned out good. So let's go ahead and boil wash it in place. Alright, so she is boil washed and dry. So now I've got to basically cut her hair to the length I want. So I'm going to first tie it back in like the low, or at least where the low bun would start. So I know what length to cut her hair at. And what I'm thinking is maybe cutting it, so I'm gonna cut it maybe here and then start layering it. I don't know. I'm just winging it. Okay. This is more or less the length. Alright, so her hair is all dry. I brushed out her tight curls. And I tried to do like kind of like a low bun with the tight curls around it to kind of look like a ballet bun. But I wasn't really happy with it. Like something just wasn't right. So I decided to rinse it with hot water to loosen up the tight curls. And then I just kind of did this like simple low ponytail, and I tied it with sewing thread, so you can't really see it. But I think these curls, these like loose curls, it looks really nice. I feel like it looks very like effortless, pretty and graceful. So I kind of feel like, I don't know, this doll gives me those vibes. I just felt like the tight curls that kind of looked like a ballet bun just wasn't doing it for me. So I think this is a lot prettier. And then this is her ballet outfit. So it's technically actually Barbie's ballet outfit. Cara's is like a salmon-y pink version of this. So the bodice is like a satiny material. And then you have 2 layers of this sort of like power mesh. And the power mesh is trimmed with like this gold trim. So you have 2 layers. And then at the bottom you have like a tricot layer that helps like fluff up the skirt. And then you have like a built-in, like you have built-in underwear under that. The reason I got this white version instead of Cara's original is because Cara's original is hard to find and it's also just very expensive. And then these are her shoes, by the way. So it's like a ballet heel. It is made out of like soft rubber. And then the closure is very similar to the Superstar Barbie closures, which can be hard to put on because you have to kind of like feed this strap through a hole on this one. So yeah, it can be kind of annoying to put on, but once they're on, they do stay on pretty well. And then Cara's ballet shoes are like a pink version of this, which I actually did purchase, and I purchased it because they were pretty inexpensive. So I thought, you know, I might as well purchase the ballet shoes now for Cara, and then in the future I can hunt down, you know, her dress for a good price. So these are Cara's original ballet flats. You can see they're pink. And there's that like strap that you have to feed through that hole, which is what makes it really difficult to put on. But yeah, so I mean, I guess I could put these on, but I think, yeah, I think the white definitely looks better. So we're just gonna do that. Okay, so now I'm just going to pop on her head, and then I will meet you guys after. I'm so thrilled with how she came out. Let me show you all how she looks like. So this is Ballerina Cara. I'm really happy with how her hair came out. I'm glad that I decided to keep it sort of like at this length, and that I decided to do like loose curls instead of tight curls, because I just feel like it goes, I don't know, it kind of goes with her doll a little bit better. And here's a look at her shoes. And then here's a better look at her thatching. Hopefully you guys can see that. So now my Ballerina Cara is pretty much complete. I think, well, sort of complete. Eventually I do want to get her original pink tutu, but you know, I'm not mad about this white outfit. I do actually think that this white outfit is really pretty and looks really good on her. It's like very like angelic. I think it suits her very well. I do hope that you all enjoyed this video, and as always, I will leave you with some outro footage of Cara.